boosted.
I do declare.
Boosted to the whole episode like that.
Now I do declare that we will boost this episode.
I
do declare Sandy's in trouble of it.
So I've kind of...
I do declare Sandy is the throat goat of this here year.
It's not funny.
That was pretty funny.
Not funny, bro.
Say you do declare it to not be funny. That's it. You have to declare.
I do declare it not to be funny.
James gets like Forrest Gump. I do declare.
I'm up to no good.
I do declare that my favorite...
Bear.
I do declare the new regime of Bear.
Oh, no, that's... That was the worst thing you've ever done.
The regime of Bear.
Bear.
Yeah, you got the cadence perfect there. Yeah, so all about that delay.
There's one of my most things I hate most about Jar is when you two are on the same wavelength of comedy.
When we find a new one, you mean?
Yeah, and I can't do it.
Well, this one.
Because I discovered this when me and James were in Sainsbury's one night after going to McD's. And I just kept saying, I do declare. And it just really...
You've never done that.
No, do you remember? Because I kept laughing. And you were like embarrassed to be near me.
Yes.
Because I like whisper to you, I do declare. And then start giggling and shit. And you were like, stop it, it's not funny. It's not even a good one.
Yeah, and it's not.
Which is often a sign that it's actually a great one.
No, you can't use my response as a way to judge how...
it is. You literally just got up and started walking away. You were so
was
emotionally captured by it.
It was atrocious.
No, because the best ones are ones where either James is really into it or really against it.
Like, what do you think of Bear? Do you not like Bear then?
No, Bear Bear's not good. Bear Fell off a few weeks ago.
Not true, man. Bear's only just beginning.
No, you said yourself that you've killed it off. That it's already gone.
This is a unique one because it's kind of come back round for me. The way Jarlings have taken it and the way they're using it is really reinvigorating.
They're not using it, bro.
No, they are. They sign off with it and they introduce with it. So many comments we get like end with like Bear.
Yeah, and it's cool.
They need to go. We need to cull the Jar Media fan base that identify themselves with Bear.
No, that's
they're the real ones.
No, they're not the real ones. They're the fake ones because they're not. They're attaching themselves to something that's fresh. Sounds
but if
old.
something's fresh and good, like a fresh strawberry.
Yeah, but
that's
not
what you want.
like
nothing beats a good Bear.
Like an old whiskey. You don't want a new whiskey. You want an old whiskey.
That accent, whiskey. It keeps making me think of Kevin Spacey from House of Cards.
Good, yes, you killed it off.
Or the bird from Futurama.
I was thinking of the Sully from Monsters Inc., but in a different movie.
Sully?
That actor.
John Goodman,
yeah.
Oh, like in B movie where he's doing that voice.
Yeah. I do declare, Mr. B,
that I'm up to no good. Oh, and get breaded, yeah. Breaded.
No, bread. No. That's.
I do declare that breaded is back.
You know it's me by the big red X.
I hate your humour. I actually hate your humour.
It's not humour.
Yeah. You know what?
It's like
one day I'm going to get sick and I'm going to move away. I'm going to move away and you'll never know.
You love role plays. You come round to it.
I do love role plays, but we can't tell them that.
Do you declare that this is the afternoon, morning, evening, or night?
I do. I do.
It's a which?
It's night. It's actually night.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Jar Media Podcast.
What kind of English should we do for this one?
The Queen's English.
Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Evening.
Or night.
Or knight. Did you like that one?
That was nice one.
This is episode 273 of the JARCast.
Would you believe it? We really made it to that number, bruv.
Yeah, that
We're almost at a magical 300. It will take us...
5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus...
It will actually
5.
take us... It would take us close to another 5 years to get to 500.
5 years?
Well, yeah. Well,
Good
there's
song.
53 weeks in a year.
What did David Bowie say about 5 years?
That we have that many.
Bear.
We got bear.
Man, before we get too deep into the show, let's go to the housekeeping. Let's clean up some actual...
To be honest, I think we should clean what is going on at the moment, or what has gone on so far. Don't worry about last episode. We need to clean house on the last 5 minutes.
Nah, that's rich. Because you know what the comments are, don't you? That's why. Because James has got a... What have you been doing over there, little giggle puss? No, James, we got to address some things from last week, from last episode.
Shoot.
Some of the jarlings are pissed at you, man.
Ooh.
Okay.
Especially Jack. It's going to start us off here. Damn. James has been real passive-aggressive this episode. Straight up rude to that counties question guy.
Yeah, I read this.
Do you remember
comment.
this?
Yes.
What was the question? It was something
You're
about...
just like, what do people in the UK or something relate to their county as much as people do in America? And of which, obviously, there's no comparison because of the size difference. But people realise that I'm not angry at the person asking the question. It's like, you're the one asking me the question, so my reaction.
So you're saying I was
on...
the stupid one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
that does make it better.
Because it's like I'm taking away the person asking the question because we are in the room talking. So it's like when you say that, I'm reacting as if you've said that to me without that, you know? It's just the way it is when it works when you're in person.
I vaguely remember trying to jump in there and address it in some way, but...
The thing is, James does what he wants. Stop telling him what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff M has some good advice. Great cast, but could you just not talk so much in the next one? It's too loud and I'm trying to sleep. We could do a little few minutes silence.
We could do, should we sing a lullaby?
Yeah, no, let's do an ASMR section.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How I wonder.
I do declare just how you are. We were talking about the Kalash. Is that how you say it?
What, Kalashnikov?
No, not quite. Kuru left a question or a comment saying, a Kalash is a Czech pastry filled with fruit or something sweet. A klobasnik is a Czech pastry filled with sausage or something savory. People in the US frequently call both Kalashes. Oh, and someone underneath that, I probably just pronounced it awfully, CBT TV says Kalashes is pronounced Kolacheese. Source, I live in Texas. But if it's... What do you mean? If it's Czech, do you trust the guy from Texas? Really?
Maybe
I do declare.
Maybe he's a Czech in Texas.
How do you say it? How would you say Kalash?
Well, I don't know. I haven't read it.
A Hindu frat replied to that saying, Alex getting names wrong for things is my favourite JARMEDIA thing. The Mojave slip-up in that one Corncast episode was amazing.
Wait, I thought you cut out the Mojave.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in there.
Because you cut out me laughing for like 10 minutes though, didn't you?
I'm pretty sure I left some of it in.
Because I was off for like a good 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Really tickled James.
Yeah, that one got you good.
Because you must have said Mojave.
Yeah, I did.
Mojave.
Because when you're reading through the names, I'm like, not even necessarily... Sometimes you are just reading like syllables.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because people just put like A-E-I-E-A-I-E.
Yeah.
I've never ever experienced or witnessed anything as funny as that. I was laughing. I was remembering that for like weeks after, and I'd fucking shit myself. I just have a fit because it was so fucking funny. Because it took me out of nowhere. Because I was on that video, and because it was in the Corncast and we were playing Gmod. I was in the floating boat, just drifting around this thing for hours, and then Alex came out of nowhere with that, and it fucked me up.
I feel like that whole just time period is a delirious like just maelstrom of fuck.
Yeah, none of us were like working at 100% capacity.
Nah.
Oh no.
But that is a recurring thing that I'm just bad at reading, especially usernames. Always get them wrong. Or if they're from anywhere that's remotely different and isn't anglicized, I'm just going to fuck it up, you know? All of these seem to be about you this week, James. Like this one from Logan Stevens. James has a fantastic take on fashion. He nails it on the head when he mentions the individuality it can bring.
That's sarcasm.
How do you know? I haven't even finished it yet. I think at its core, that's what fashion should be about. And James is also spot on identifying that fast fashion and quick trends as underlying issues.
I thought that's common sense. I read that comment and I took it as like James is pointing out the thing everyone knows. It's like is mocking me with a sarcastic approach. That's how I read that.
Don't put yourself down, bro.
Yeah,
you're getting a compliment, and you're going.
I'm not getting a compliment. There's no reason to compliment me.
Mental gymnastics, so that you don't have to take.
Do you think that's the problem with like just the ultra triple down, especially our generation likes with like irony, and it gets to a point where it's like, what actually is the truth?
Well, especially in text form.
100% with text form, where you can just like interpret.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Because I didn't read it that way at all when I read it. I was like, because we're talking about fast fashion, and it's a good point.
I tend to take things rather literally when reading text.
See, that's the problem though, because I take it. It's like when you two message me on the group chat, I will take whatever way I see it is like the actual 100% truth, and that's when it causes issues because I think you're mad at me, because you'll just meme and say something really dry, and I'm like, he's being dry to me again. I'm gonna have a fit.
Yeah, I feel like the way I text is quite dry, but I feel like it's not to try and intentionally be dry. It's to just get to the like
you're being
point.
Efficiency.
Yeah, it's efficiency. Yeah.
Well, me apparently I'm dry. I'm like,
you're not dry. You're vicious.
Yeah, true.
Okay, what's the difference there between dryness and viciousness?
Dryness is just apathy. Viciousness is viscosity.
But mine's about like the timeliness thing, where it's just like, let's sort this. Let's do this.
It's like a robot.
Yeah. It's like an actual fucking automaton.
Yeah. It's like an android of some alien creation.
That's a stupid fucking.
I generally think that texting is like not my preferred form of communication.
What is your preferred form of communication?
In person.
Yeah, I hate texting.
I love texting.
I absolutely hate it.
I love using things in the wrong way. Like
I like that.
I use ellipses a lot. And it just like doesn't work. It's like like you're trailing off.
But like on the irony thing, like I was so anti emoji for a long time. Then it started. But then it started with the ironic usage, and then it just becomes, I'm just using them now, and what's even the difference? Like you're just using them. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the irony.
I love emojis. Like they make every conversation better. Because
they do. They're actually really important to texting.
Yes, 100%. I think if you don't use them, you're missing something. The way your message is missing something.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't use them 100% of the time.
No,
if you're really happy about something.
There's a difference between like spamming 15 on every message.
Yeah.
Or 5 or that exaggerated way of messaging, to using one when it's actually, it works in the emotion you're portraying through your message.
Yeah. Unless you're really upset. Because if you're like really upset and you actually use like crying emojis and sad faces, a sad emoticon, very different to a sad emoji. Sad emoticon is genuine sadness. Do you mean
sadness. The keyboard emoticon? Because I remember back in the day they were...
Like ASCII?
Yeah, like colon bracket.
Yeah, they... See, I would say they're the purest form, because if I use the happy one, it's a genuine, like, I'm happy. I would never use the smiley emoji.
Yeah, it's like a genuine smile.
But if I use the sad one...
The default emoji smile is only used in fake.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not expressive. This is where it just is ridiculous, though.
Well, because I think this is an old school thing, though, because we grew up in a time where the usage of emojis wasn't a thing. So having the asterisks, old school emojis, was the way you did it. Mm-hmm. So now it's like I use them generally. If you're having a serious conversation with someone and they reply with just a sad face, something's gone fucking wrong. There's some big beef going on down.
There was some beautiful ASCII art in the Yahoo Answers replies a lot of the time.
Really?
Yeah. It's how people would troll on Yahoo Answers, like just leave replies of like an ASCII image of someone like holding their temple or something.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, or Jackie Chan going, whoa, whatever.
Yeah.
Polar Bear Bear says, I hate how anti-old Jar James is. Embrace the past. Long live Purple Triangle.
I am anti old Jar for like good reason though, because obviously everything before the rebirth is kind of just like old. I don't relate to it, so naturally I'm going to be against it because it was an era where I didn't enjoy. As was evident through the videos, it's obvious there was, you know.
What is the self?
What is identity? What is consciousness?
What is... Would you agree that people can change and people do change?
Well, yeah, that's a fact.
Are you the you were 10 years ago?
No, I'm not.
Are you the you were 5 years ago?
I think people
then what-
can change,
Yeah.
but it's not. A lot of people just aren't interested in self-improvement. You have to have some drive to want to self-improve, because there are people that they're like 60 years old, but they have the mental capacity of a 15-year-old. Like they've never, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
They've cut themselves off, and they're like, yeah, I'm just going to stay this level.
But what does that make you if you change?
An automaton.
Yeah, are you some sort of android from an alien?
I feel like you started with a genuine question and just took it somewhere tart.
Well, no, you were like, an automaton. So you clearly don't want to talk about this actually thought-provoking, deep topic, and you just want to make ignorant attempts at humour.
Shut up, poohead.
What is the self? What are you, James?
Take a selfie
If
and
you're
find
not,
out.
if you're not who you were 5 years ago, and you've changed,
Yes, but that's a different case, because it's like there's context to it, right? I'm not the person I am 5 years ago because I had a huge life event 4 years ago. So I'm different now because of that.
No, but people are changed. Everyone is changed by the events of their life.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're constantly built by
The event.
experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what is the self?
And is there...
The self is just your identity and how you view yourself. There's nothing else about yourself. Self is you. That's an obvious thing.
But what are you?
You are you.
But if things are subject to change, do you, like from outward,
Yes.
things
Intervention,
happen, intervention, things happening to you. What are you?
A human being.
Yeah, but is everyone that? Like, if James had my exact position in life, would he just be me?
No.
Because he would have had the exact same experiences
what you're
as
saying.
me.
So this is kind of a free will thing.
I don't think it's a free will thing.
No, that's like a determinist kind of thing, where it's
But
like...
what I'm saying
Every
is...
human is... We right now we're a result of everything we've experienced, right? So the things I enjoy, my interests, my issues, my problems I face in life are all because of what I've experienced so far.
But also what those above you experienced and above that have experienced.
Yes.
It passes. It's not just lost. Because like what like socioeconomic conditions you're born into, whatever life experiences you've had, where you lived in the world, what culture you grew up in. There's so many different things.
If you take everything of Jamie and put it into me, but I grew up in the same environment, I would not be me and I would not be Jamie. I would be someone completely different.
Why? If you had my life experience.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying have you. Your character, everything about you, but you grew up in my life.
But when you say grew up in your life, do you mean
With the
born...
influence of my parents and the environment.
So you're
Let's say
swapped at birth?
yes,
swapped at birth.
pretty much. Us two now would not be the same. We'd be two completely different people.
So now this is like a nature versus nurture thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question, I guess. I'm
I
sure there
think-
have been studies on this exact
I just
thing.
think the human condition is too complex to be able to dull it down to simple things like that. There's so many levels to what creates the way we are and who we are that it can't be just simply down to the events you've experienced.
But that is a major factor. That's why parenting is so important.
Yes, but obviously there's more to it than that. There's so many factors on top of that.
Yeah, because it's not like everyone in the world who's had bad parents are like hopeless. It just means there's like another struggle.
But no two people experience the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we had the same living conditions. We've had very different experiences.
To an extent, we had different like parenting experiences just based on you being the older child and me being the younger one.
Yeah, that shifts dynamics.
So it's like if we swapped,
yeah,
would I be just like you and you be just like me?
No, because your character plays a part in it.
And yeah,
But
genetics.
your character can change.
Your character can change, but it's like...
What about your genetics, though?
But what genetics?
You've also
What
got
about
to...
We are not like clones of each other, but we
No.
have the same parents,
Yeah.
and we're different entities.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about in a realistic sense, swapping. I mean everything is identical. Apart from the biology.
Well, obviously, from when you're born, you're naturally you are you. You have your own stuff. You have your own character. And that's not entirely done through...
Character is built. I don't think you start off with like a character trait, let's say, is that you can fly off the handle and get really angry. People with anger problems.
Yeah.
If anger management therapy works, then that character attribute is being changed. Nothing about a person is like set in stone.
I believe...
I don't think anything is set in stone.
I think something is set in stone. Like, you can't change the way my problems of texture and food. You can't magically change how I get freaked out of certain foods. I think that's just a me thing.
I think it's possible that it could be.
Okay, what
through
about
therapies?
What about my interest?
Your interest? But I mean, do you think it's just coincidence that you happen to be really into cars when your dad is really into cars?
That's the thing. Hobbies are always done through influence, through your parents.
Yeah. But not always.
There's nothing you could do now that can change that. Because that interest I started when I was young, like 2, 3.
But then you can have like interesting scenarios like with us and our dad. Huge into sport, loves it. Huge part of his life.
Yeah, but our mum really against it.
Yeah.
So it was a toss-up between like which one were we going to obtain.
Mm-hmm.
And we both happened to get the...
But then,
like,
yeah,
this is
but
kind of
that's what
boring.
I'm saying. They're like, why?
This is where there's a thing, because neither of you've been super big into sport, but we rode a lot. We were doing riding a lot as kids. So that is a sport. And we were doing that, and we had stupidly good cardio as a result.
It's not like a sport,
no,
you know?
but
It's just exercise.
It's
No, but
fitness.
like our dad is like a big rugby fan, huge rugby fan, loves football, loves cricket, loves all of it, loves tennis, loves watching it.
But like, I truly believe if, for example, we'd stayed in New Zealand for the majority of our lives, up until like this point, we would both be radically different people.
Yeah, I do think about that a lot, like what the multiverse version of like us that stayed in New Zealand would be like.
Yeah, it's like the thing is, up until a point, you don't get to choose who you are.
And then like what about things that are totally out of your control that do dictate certain things in your life? Like if you just happen to be born at a certain time where there is like a financial crisis, there is some kind of war, there is something totally out of control.
Yeah, that,
and then that's going to have knock-on effect for generations
that
potentially.
forms your character. All these things, like, you're not just you because that's who you are. You know?
No, but I think there is part that is part of it.
That's part of the that is part of the human condition though, isn't it? Is trying to find meaning and identity. And it's why people war, and it's why people can't agree on anything, and why there's so many different belief structures, so many different religions, so many different ways to live life.
But I mean, the fact that, like, I think what a lot of people, how they view what I am is how I react to certain stimuli. Right? How do I react if someone is confrontational? You know, what's my go-to? Like, people react in totally different ways when it comes to that. But that seems to all come down to life experience.
Yeah. Well, I've like recently gotten really into orangutans.
Yeah.
It always goes back. It always goes back.
Yeah.
No, but it got me thinking. We always saying, well, to live like a dog or whatever.
My famous saying.
Live like a fucking orangutan. I'm changing it. I'm moving
shit.
it.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I don't agree with this.
Nah.
I don't agree.
So much of it, just seeing how they learn and how pockets of like different orangutan communities, like they have handed down like bits of advice and techniques to like open certain fruits and stuff that only grow in like certain places in the world. And humans genuinely like basically do the same. It's a simplified version.
Yeah.
We're just like handing down and we're learning from each other, and it's like a cooperative thing. We should see it as opposed to like a competitive thing, because humans never would have got as far as we have if it wasn't a cooperative, if we weren't inherently cooperative.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
disagree. I think people being cooperative comes from a place of greed and being selfish.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, every society ever.
To a certain extent, obviously, there's going to be historical examples that proves against this, but it's like two kingdoms in the medieval ages. They're joining together in a coalition that benefits them both. So that is a selfish thing of, I'll gain from this.
Well, if you consider fighting to survive like a inherently selfish, which I don't necessarily
I
do.
don't think it was fighting to survive in that era. It was just a case of money.
But I mean, what? Another philosophical question: what isn't selfish? What is an
humans
act
are kind
that
of
isn't
innately
selfish?
selfish.
But how is it possible to do something that isn't selfish?
To be selfless
How can you do
by
that?
putting someone else's needs above yours.
Yeah, that
No,
is...
but you gain from that.
How?
It feeds your ego. You think.
I don't think it's an ego thing.
No, but it does. It makes you feel good about yourself, therefore making it not selfish.
But is that not like the brain reward mechanism? It's like, it feels good to help out fellow man, and that has helped us get to the point where we are, where we dominate the earth.
Because the safety in numbers.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. But there is this idea that nothing is selfless.
I know.
A man cannot be selfless.
I think that is selfless. Doing something for someone else that doesn't do anything for you, just help someone else, that is selfless.
But give an example of an act.
Helping an old lady cross the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the tendency when somebody does something like that,
I'd say that
they tell at least one person.
Yeah. I think it depends what the person does after doing the selfless act. Because if you tell anyone, it's like, how many times do I walk past like someone or a homeless person, I give them money? I don't tell people that.
Yeah.
Because why?
But you know
anything.
you've done it. You know you've done it, and your brain will say, you're a good person. Well done for that. You're great. It's like a feedback loop.
But yeah, surely that's a good thing to want to strive to be good in some way.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying it's not selfless.
I think it depends how you think about it.
Even giving your life away in like a war, you get to die a hero, you know?
Or a martyr or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so your
I think
legacy...
selflessness depends on the person doing the act. And depends on what their motivations are of doing it. Because if I do anything nice on, I don't ever think of it ever again. It's done. I gain nothing from it. I've just helped someone out and I move on.
Yeah, it kind of stops being a nice thing if it becomes like leverage. Like, oh, but I did that nice thing for you.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing it for me?
Yeah,
now?
well, I bought you that Starbucks when you buy me one McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're learning a few things.
Exactly. This has all been circling around to make James have an epiphany about him fucking forcing me to buy McD's.
How the fuck did we get here?
Philosophical questions. Philosophical questions.
Philosophical.
Okay, now put it this way. Let's just say you're playing Elden Ring. You have a jar on your head, and you've got 2 katanas, and your whole thing is helping people beat a boss.
That is selflessness.
Is that selfishness?
What's he gaining from it? Apart from a huge reputation and is a huge figure
a
online.
statue.
a literal statue.
Yeah.
No, but it's
But
an
that's because we
ego-boosting thing.
reward.
It
like,
is,
goodness.
because it's like you're now a legend. You're actually like
Yeah.
a legend in
No, but
the
even
Elden Ring
before all
world.
that shit, he got really stuck at this boss. So to make it like to make himself feel powerful, he created this.
He gooned it.
He gooned it so he could kill this boss over and over and over and over. This thing that was like lording over him for so long, he managed to defeat it.
And then he's doing
Right.
it again for other people.
And like the orangutan that learned how, the first orangutan that learned how to open that fruit and pass that down,
Mm-mm.
he's now doing that with all the Elden Ring players.
Yeah, he's like the old wise orangutan.
Are there any orangutan enemies in that game?
I
A
don't
Souls
believe
game
so.
hasn't used orangutans yet, have they?
Well, you can't have them be enemies. You can't fight them.
Well, they have all sorts of like ape enemies in Sekiro and stuff,
That's different.
and they're cool.
No,
and
but
creepy.
like a gorilla is more threatening.
Yeah, but then like little gibbons and stuff, they're not inherently as that threatening.
Gibbons are terrifying.
Well, like
Yeah,
the
gibbons are freaky.
Gigantopithecus or whatever, that's pretty fucking intimidating.
I
Oh, it
don't know.
was those giant orangutans, you know?
Okay,
Was that a
so
thing?
Yeah.
moving on, we did it. We as a collective, we as a group, took the plunge into Elden Ring co-op.
Mhm.
Because obviously you played it before. You've
Yeah.
talked about it.
I've not finished it, but yeah.
We've talked about Elden Ring and how we wanted to play it. So I did, because I think I was always the biggest.
Naysayer.
Yes, because I tried Dark Souls 1, I didn't get on with it. I found it frustrating and difficult. And I was playing it with no guiding influence at all, because I played it before you even got on Dark Souls. So I was an early adopter and I gave up on it. So when the whole idea of Elden Ring, I was like, no, I'm not going to play it. And then I took the plunge, and we've been playing co-op. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah. My From Software thing was, yeah, I played Dark Souls 1 around the same time you did. But it was on like Xbox 360. It didn't run that well. I didn't know what I was doing. Just gave up. Fast forward years later, I played Sekiro. That was the one that got me through Jim kind of pushing me to get through. Because what had always put me off before was like just watching you play Dark Souls 1 a lot in certain areas, and like the frustration I saw from you, and like the tower with the archers and that tree boss, and just this stuff where I was like, I'm really struggling to see what part of this is like enjoyable. But jumping into Elden Ring now, yeah, like I totally understand everything everyone's been saying about it. I've had a frustrating experience specifically with co-op, just because of the implementation of it in Souls games.
We've had a weird thing with co-op because we're progressing through the game as a group. So we'll do one area, get to a Lost Grace, or do a boss, and then we'll do it on the other person's world. So we're all progressing and we're tripling the XP. We're all leveling up. Great time. But every time we join Alex's world, Alex will get invaded.
Specifically
constantly.
mine.
Yeah.
So all
Only
three of
yours.
us are hosting independently at different times. But it's me, for whatever
every
reason,
time.
keeps getting invaded.
And we're still on basically the starter.
Yeah, we're like 6 hours, 8 hours in.
Yeah.
Like early, still
Really
in the
early
opening area,
Yeah.
like type stuff. And we're getting invaded by these people that like...
But bearing in mind, 6 hours in is us going through areas 3 times.
Yeah. So this is equivalent to three
This
hours
is
in.
like 2 hours.
2 hours in, basically.
Uh-huh. With, in that like 8 hours of gameplay.
We've had like probably 1 to 2 hours halted by invasions.
And like bugs and disconnects and random stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teething
the
problems.
game isn't a co-op game.
No.
And
Yeah, that's why I wanna preface that.
Playing it this way is a different game.
Yeah, entirely.
You guys are getting a different experience to me.
Mhm.
Is that a bad thing?
I wouldn't want to trade my experience I've had.
Yeah, I would say if you
solo.
finish it co-op, you haven't finished Elden Ring. It's something else.
Yeah, it is something else. But the game is almost telling us that with the invasions. It's like, yeah, you can play this way,
Mhm.
but there are
But you're going to be
consequences.
punished for it.
Yeah, kind of. Because the thing I've really appreciated with Elden Ring, more so than any other Souls game, is interacting with strangers. And I think that's the design intent for all co-op in all the Souls games. But they're giving mixed messages by letting you have a password with a group so you can co-op with certain people.
Yeah.
So if the intent was truly to make you interact with strangers, they wouldn't have that.
And I have no problem with that. The only thing I have a problem with is that when we're invaded, there are people that have gear that is not scaled in any way. So when you're in fights, you're like, all three. We should be like not having any issues, right? It's 3v1 every time we're invaded. But like you hit them and you like do a tiny slither of damage, and they've got like some crazy spell or a huge weapon that like takes 2/3 of your health in one hit or more.
And it like builds a status.
But the worst one was like there's pressure plate lifts in the game.
Yeah, the first like castle.
Yeah, there's like a castle you go to get into. There's a pressure plate lift. And we got invaded, and basically the invader figured out if he just stands at the top of the lift, like by the pressure plate, there was nothing we could do to progress.
Yeah,
and you can't call the lift down while he stood on the pressure plate.
So he just stayed up there, knowing that's the direction we wanted to go, that we were trying to clear, and just to be a dick.
I just had a thought. I wonder if he was waiting for us to call the elevator down, but being too stupid to realise that he needed to step off the pressure plate.
It's possible. But why would he have waited for so long?
Because we ran off. We ran off for like a good hour and a half, and it was like, we should stop playing now. And it's like, I can't leave because he still stood there.
Yeah, and the likelihood is he was being petty.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the thing. Like, you were saying about like ages ago, you did this stream of like angry tweets from when you were playing Dark Souls 1 and kept being invaded.
The thing is, I don't believe. I don't think invasions are a problem in Elden Ring.
No, there's purely just to clarify, this is just the co-op way we are playing it. I'm still going to do it.
We are opting into this shit, right? We're choosing to play in a way where like we run the risk of coming across assholes that want to just pound low-level characters.
Well, but that was the problem also, is it wasn't running a risk. It was literally every single time we were playing, it was like, the gameplay is like flowing really nicely. We're having fun. There's a nice kind of amount of challenge or whatever. We're learning the game. Oh, we're invaded. Fun's over.
Yeah.
Now,
But we are opting into that by the way we're playing. With Dark Souls 1, it's every time you use an item that turns you human. The only way to stop being human is to die. So if you use a humanity to go human, and then you're just playing the game, could be playing for a couple hours, beating bosses, not even co-oping, right? But you'd used this item ages ago, maybe to co-op like 3 bosses ago, but you haven't died since, you're still human. And then you just randomly get invaded by a guy that's like min-maxed his character, stayed a low level so he can invade lower level characters.
That's what gets me.
And the netcode was so fucking bad that you'd be facing the guy, and then he'd be like strafing around you. You're looking at him. He walks towards you. He backstabs you. Kills you in one hit.
Yeah, the netcode wasn't great in Elden Ring either.
But I mean,
in terms of fighting them,
leaps and bounds ahead.
Yeah.
Of
from
Dark
what I've
Souls
seen
1
from
experience.
Dark
Souls 1, in all my experience with like people that understood the game, if I attacked, they could one-hit me because they understood the game. And the frames when I couldn't do anything, they could get behind me and backstab me because there was like such a big lag. So I genuinely think you should be able to co-op with the remaster, because the PvP is no better. With the remaster, you should be able to turn invasions off.
Just patch it in, give it an option or something.
Yeah, because it's busted. It's totally broken.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. Am I not a true Dark Souls player for playing co-op? Because I have as of now, I don't have any interest in playing that game solo. Absolutely none.
I just think about, because you don't have an option to play it co-op in Sekiro. That was one of their first game, right? You can't summon anyone.
Yeah.
And if you didn't force me to get past that Genichiro boss or whatever, over that hump and like learn the systems properly, force you to like rewire your brain because you're so used to that different type of like design that's just way more forgiving. You need to be like beaten down, I reckon.
Yeah, totally. But also you need to read when Elden Ring teaches you different lessons, where you need to know when to stop and go elsewhere, which is a different lesson to Sekiro. Because if you play Sekiro and you get to Genichiro and you're stuck for like 3 hours, you still have to jump that hurdle. Whereas with Elden Ring, the lesson is just go, just leave.
Yeah, you kind of have more options, don't you?
Yeah. But no, I think your experience with the game is a valid experience. And that's your experience with the game.
And to be fair, so this is basically the first time I've invested a decent amount of time into any Souls game. And the first item I took was when you're building your character, is the item that gives every enemy's aggression is on you. So I took this thing, so whenever in a fight, they all just they go for me. I'm just being chased and I can't do anything. And I'm just leveling up health by doing that, I'm being put in horrible situations where I'm like, guys, I'm gonna fucking die. And then by dying, we've got to do so much hassle to get back in again. So I'm making my experience miserable. So at the same time, I am getting a Dark Souls experience when I'm just being killed.
Totally are. And like we at the end of a run yesterday, we ended on a boss, and it killed us.
Yeah,
it totally wrecked us.
Yeah, it killed all three of us.
And like, you're still getting that
horrible Dark Souls misery.
Yeah. But
it's clearly not. That's not like the way it's designed, though. The way that you're supposed to experience it.
No,
it is something different.
It's totally different, and it's you miss out on unique moments because like I have this memory where it was like really late. I was in the first big ass castle of the game, and I was like, it was too much for me. It was daunting as fuck because like I was a bit underleveled. The enemies were giving me loads of grief, so I summoned this guy who was called Dex, and he was like, we were working together to kill these enemies, and he was showing me all the secrets of this castle, and he was doing the emotes and stuff, and it was like we built up this little relationship, and he was sort of guiding me around the castle, and then he died, and then I couldn't find him again. It was like a whole little story for me. But it's moments like that make that sort of co-op so fucking good.
Isn't that what, like, that was Miyazaki's design intention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he said like
a whole van story.
His old plan was the fact that he was stuck on a snowy mountain. Some guys came out of nowhere, just helped him and walked off. No, nothing. That's it.
Yeah. It's just like two people on their separate journeys just happened to come together.
Yeah.
For a bit.
It's
to
help you out. It's one of the best things about video games. It's one of, like, when you happen to get into that like lobby in a multiplayer game with the dudes that have the mics and it just clicks just for 15 minutes, whatever. You just play a game.
Yeah.
You just help each other in some cooperative way or go against each other. But it's just a mini interaction and then it's done, and you might never ever talk to them again, or you might even find a new friend.
But with the way Dark Souls does it, with the restrictions on communication, like there's no mic.
Yeah, like Journey or something.
Yeah, it makes it so much more like, it makes you feel closer to that person because you know nothing about them. They could be from any country. They could speak.
Yeah, you
any
can just
language.
project anything onto them, can't you? Cause it's just...
Yeah, but we all understand these same like basic emotions.
See, my counter argument to this is that I think us free playing is special in itself because
that's what I mean.
We've had
it's just different.
Funny.
No, it's not that it's not fun. It's just different. It's something else.
Yeah, but I value that as much as anything else.
And to be honest, I think
Elden Ring works because it's so huge. It's such a huge game. You're discovering stuff that you didn't on your playthrough.
Yeah.
And we're discovering that together, and we're sharing those moments.
And you might even learn that like tens of hours in, once you have a certain level of confidence, that like you Maybe I will just jump in to like that castle by myself, and you know.
Yeah, that's the thing as well.
Because that means you'd never like be able to use the horses or anything, or all the other stuff that's.
Yeah, the
more
game
limited.
the game is not designed to be co-op 100% of the time.
Mm.
That's just like a fact.
Because we managed to beat one invader. After
And that
how many
moment was great.
how many times do you think overall we've been invaded compared?
We're probably talking more than 10. Or 10.
I'd say
Or
like
more.
15, 20.
Yeah. So not the best track record so far, but the sense of accomplishment when you beat that first one.
No, but we destroyed him. We
Mhm.
humiliated him,
Yeah.
Alex. Because he was in that area because he wants to beat noobs.
Yeah.
And then he got absolutely demolished. He didn't even hit us once. We just fucking just fucked him up.
But it wasn't like in a ganky way. And the whole idea of ganking, like, if you're a Souls PvPer and you get annoyed by ganks.
Can you explain what gank means?
Ganking is when the host of the world has summoned one or more people. So the ganking
Easy, mate.
is you're having to fight multiple of them and they've only got to fight one of you.
Okay, yeah.
But the game is designed for you to have every enemy in the area doesn't attack you. They only attack
If
the
you're
host.
invading, yeah.
Yeah. 2, you're opting to engage with this. The reason it's designed the way it is in Elden Ring, where you can only invade when someone is actively looking for
Mhm.
co-op, is because they want the invader to be at a disadvantage. Because the devs know it's fucking annoying.
Mhm.
If you're trying to play through the game and some asshole just invades you, the odds should be in your favour.
The invaders just not at a disadvantage though, are they? What do you think would fix it? Do you think if they were aggroed by enemies, that would help? Or do you think that would just be too fucked? It would just break everything.
Well, there was an item, I don't know if there's the same thing in Elden Ring, there probably is, but there was an item in Dark Souls 3 that you could collect at Firelink Shrine every so often. That when you used it, it made enemies aggro to the invader.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So they can do it.
So if they did a thing where they like ran off, waiting by like a bunch of enemies, and they were like, yeah, come on then you just use that item, and then suddenly they've got all these enemies attacking them. But I think what you said is the best thing they could possibly
What did I
do.
suggest?
Put a timer on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was what was most annoying. Like,
But yeah, because they were stopping our progress. Because we before trying to get to this castle, we'd played the day before, and we got to the Lost Grace in this castle, and we were like, tomorrow we'll do this, and we were hyped.
Yeah.
You know, during the day I was like, guys, we need to Elden Ring. I'm so hyped on this.
Mhm.
And then we started to start playing, and it's like instantly got into this hurdle where this guy was just like being a twat.
Yeah, he had an attack that would one hit us.
Yeah,
kill us.
but they
So-
play in the most cowardly ways. They like run, and they run away as soon
Mhm.
as they're in any kind of disadvantaged state, and
Yeah.
because they've got these like flasks and health bars that are so ridiculous. Like they're so tanky. Like the fight's like it's weighted to one side so strong.
Yeah,
It's
the opposite way that the devs intended.
yeah. So do you think it's fair to call out for that then on those grounds?
Yeah.
I think
Even though we know it's obviously not the
because it's such a big game and there's like so many options that they couldn't design a system that couldn't be abused.
Yeah. I think it would just be a case of by the time we're more familiar and have better gear and stuff, it'll probably be more fun.
Yeah,
It's just
'cause
like
then we
it's
can gank
like a Stallone thing. We
Mm.
need to run up the stairs and do star
Yeah.
jumps. and
Because
shit.
if these people are they generally get upset over ganking, if we kill them every time by ganking, we just piss them off. So ultimately we win.
Yeah.
And then you don't lose anything.
But if you truly want a PvP, every Souls game has an area where if you put you can put a summon sign down, just like the co-op ones, but when somebody summons you, it's to have a fight.
Are there like have
It's
the
a
fight
bloody finger,
clubs
isn't it?
have the fight clubs started popping up yet?
Yeah, there's like a location where everyone goes to duel.
Yeah, and that's cool. I think that's a really neat idea. It's just the like power and balance thing where it's like, come on, you fucking loser, dude. Like the gamer meme from that South Park episode with the guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
It's just like there's something different because like going out of your way to like fight people and challenge yourself with people on an agreed thing is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Going to literally the first fucking area in the game out of the little castle.
Just because you know everyone's going to be shit.
Yeah, because everyone's coming out there level 1 and you're literally level fucking whatever with top gear. You are like the biggest pussy ever. Actually a loser. Go touch some fucking grass, honestly.
But it's this. You teach me about the slow walk thing. I can't get over the slow walk thing. 'Cause that is like the ultimate personification of the cringe of it.
I saw it firsthand because you two lagged out and I was left in this role, but this guy invaded as you left, so I was basically fucked. And it's this narrow hallway, and it's going down into a little dungeon. And I was like, guys, I've been invaded, and I could just see him slowly walking up the stairs. And I was like, fuck no, shit.
When they kill you and then deliberately turn the character model the other direction, then start slow walking.
This is giving me a flashback to a brutal lesson I had to learn from Dark Souls 1, where I actually managed to beat someone in PvP. Someone invaded me, and then there was an emote where you like put your arms out and you were like, it was called like "come on then" or something.
Yeah, gladiator. He's like,
you like take 2 steps forwards and you're like, is that all you got, sort of thing. So I did that after I killed him, so I was like, fuck you, I actually killed one, fuck yeah. And I was so hyped, and then I started carrying on, and then he invades me again, and he's gone like full fucking beast mode. He is he is the power of 1,000 suns raging behind his eyes, and he is going to kill me, and he does. And then he starts messaging me on Xbox.
Really?
And he's like, that's your lesson, to never use that emote again.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like actual playground shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
but you know what? Never use the emote again.
Is that it? He just goes around teaching people like.
Well, no, because it was just him. He must have been like invading people, then leaving worlds that weren't mine.
So you using that emote had such an emotional impact on him. It drove him.
No, because that's what these people are looking for. They're looking to kill someone, and it gives them a little ego boost. So then when you like just a shit player, it was my first playthrough. I had like the worst build. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I killed him, right?
Yeah.
So not only did a shit guy kill him, but then a shit guy was like, "Wee."
I just don't understand it, because it's like, to me, what is fun about competitive multiplayer most of the time is when there is like some level. It's like any sport, some level of fairness, some level of.
That's what was
challenge.
so fun about the fight clubs.
Yeah. I watched you in Dark Souls 3 do a bunch of those.
Yeah, and I remember hosting them sometimes. Because it was just fun to watch two people fight. Like, 2 different builds, 2 people of different skill. They weren't necessarily the same level.
Mm-hmm.
But some people were, like, good enough where their skill could carry them to a win, even though they were using, like, worse weapons.
Yeah.
Just watching that dynamic was so fun. And then, like, it was a community thing where there were no rules in the game, but everybody knew the rules.
Mm-hmm.
If you healed, that broke the rules. If you healed, everyone would just rush that guy and kill him. So it was like a fair
self-governed.
No heals. Like, if you had
just etiquette, you knew the etiquette of the sport.
If you had a really low health bar, you don't heal. You just still try and win, and it's possible. That shit was so fun, man.
It's getting repaired tomorrow.
Okay, good. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Did we mention that on the cast that
No, I did have this noted down. I just noted down in the notes, just Salesmen, because it's happened too many times now.
Salesmen.
Just the bad experiences I just have again and again with Salesmen.
Yeah.
It started with the Conservatory Man. I don't think I ever told about the Conservatory Man.
I think you did.
To be honest, it was during COVID time, which was extra weird.
Yeah, super weird.
I guess someone around where I live was getting a conservatory installed, and like when they do that, they'll often send one of the people like round the local houses to knock on doors and be like, "Oh, we'll give you a free quote for a conservatory or whatever." No big deal.
It's a typical thing. It's like if you're in the area doing business, you might as well just try and get them
smart
more business.
It's
good.
So this matehead, he knocks on my door and he's like, "Yeah, do you want a free quote for a conservatory? And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good. The guy like books me in or whatever, like for the next week and shows up. It was like during peak COVID stuff. He had like no mask, nothing like that. It was really weird. He came in, and I tried to make sure over the phone that it was like this is like no commitment, like it's just a quote, right? Like it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
This turns into like this 3-hour fucking ordeal where I don't know what it is about me. Do I just look innocent and like I'm just an idiot and like easy to manipulate?
I think
Yes.
young homeowner.
Yeah.
Oh, they're stupid. They'll fall for my thing.
Yeah, so they're just
Bullshit.
like, and they just won't take no for an answer. They won't fucking do it. They won't let you. They try and like, they create an atmosphere with
it's attrition. It's a war of attrition. They're trying to weigh you down.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to weigh you down, and just so you say yes, so they leave. Just they want to create an environment so awkward and uncomfortable that they'll trick elderly people into saying yes. And it's happened time and time again now. Like James was alluding to this gutter. One of my gutters was destroyed by a scaffolding company when they were taking down the scaffold. They like destroyed one of the joints and just like drove off. So now it's my problem to get that repaired because there's this like really loud stream of water every time it rains, and we're in the UK, so it's obviously fucking constant. But yeah, I get like the gutter guy coming over. He comes into the garden and he's like, ooh, I don't know about these. Oh, that joint. Oh, they haven't done them joints for years. They're going to be hard to locate. They are.
How's that? How? This is a new fucking house.
Yeah,
It's a new build.
Which I already know is weird because I'd already looked up the part. I found them online and they're like £2.
Yeah. It's just joint. It's a fucking gutter joint.
But I didn't say that. I was just hearing him out or whatever. Just to hear like what he was going to say. It was like, yeah, so, yeah, that one joint, I don't know about this. They don't do it anymore. It's going to be really hard to locate. There's no resources at the moment. I can repair that one bit, but it's going to be $150. You know what I can do for you, though? I'll replace the whole thing, give it a good clean, make it look good as new, $450.
Jesus.
That's actual bullshit. Because, no, I've said this to you, but, like, my dad will do it for free and it'll take about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyone with a ladder can do that job.
But it's like...
Oh.
And then I get another quote from someone over the phone who hasn't even come to see it, and he's like, what's wrong with it then? I was like, oh, one of them little joints has like been knocked down. He's like, oh, that's nothing. I'll come do that and I'll clean all your gutters, what, 60 quid? Just over the phone.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's like,
the difference between like an honest workman and someone who's just
I think
trying to take the piss.
it's a useful bit of advice for anyone who's going to own a house or anything like that. It's like,
well, just
if
anything.
anything
When
goes-
buying a car, when buying fucking anything.
it just do background research on it and kind of find out the process. Because obviously I work with cars, I know that, and it's like you can take a car to the garage and they'll be like, you need to replace this as well. And it's like, no, you don't. Just if you know what needs to be done, or you have a trusted person you know who's knowledgeable, and you can be like, what needs to be changed on this? They'll give you an honest answer, and then you will save hundreds a year minimum. Like, if you didn't know anything or didn't do any background check, would you have fallen for that guy asking you for 460?
Well, that's the thing. That's maybe.
Yeah.
Just never rush into anything like that.
Mm-hmm. But that's what is always what's so suspicious about it, because they try and lock you in and get you to like they'll say that, yeah, I don't know how long I can keep this quote for, like by tomorrow things will be different, and yeah, of course that's true in like some circumstances, but it's also a business tactics. They will fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
a limited time deal.
It's like the thing, it's like you always ask your dad, because usually if it's anything manual labour related, if you kind of ask your dad and be like, what's this, they can just give you an answer.
But with the guttering one specifically, I was like, it's guttering, you know? Like the complex mechanics of a car or whatever, like, yeah, that's over my head, but
guttering?
it's plastic
It's
that funnels water.
It's
like
bolted onto a house. That's it. There's no mechanical, there's no engineer.
It's like one, it was one screw that was knocked out. That was it. And it's just the fact that it's 3 stories up. I can't do it myself. Man,
It pays to just be a little bit cautious.
but that's the thing though. So for a stretch, you can't. It means you have to be so wary all the time when you're like buying shit, when you're dealing with shit. You always have to like second guess everything. Be like, is this actually a deal? Are you just trying to fleece me right now? You're trying to trick me? Like, using the fact that you're not an expert in everything. That like you don't have the time to learn about all the different types of guttering, all the different types of conservatory. Oh, what's the different type of glass? This type of glass blocks heat really well, but it costs this much extra. But only if you buy it in this many meters. You know, it's like, fuck, bro. At what point am I supposed to...
It's like jargon. They try to overload you with shit you don't understand. But like you say, when it comes to guttering, it's a tube. Like,
but it's just happening time and time again, and I'm getting sick of it, man.
Well, I mean, don't let them in.
But like, I got to get my gutter repaired, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, like, I can't see you letting in like door-to-door salesmen for quotes on shit anymore.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm just never doing that again. Fuck that.
Bother.
Awful fucking experience.
And also that guy...
And he was really fucking rude.
He probably did more damage to himself than he did good.
Like, he did some really cringy businessman shit. Like, at one point, he showed me his WhatsApp group chat with other people.
This is the conservatory
the
guy.
Conservatory guy. Yeah, not the gutter guy. Yeah, he showed me his WhatsApp group chat where they were talking about, like, their monthly turnover. And it was like... Why is that like?
That's dodgy. That's obvious. Yeah. That's a red flag.
Yeah, like why? What about that would convince me that buying conservatory?
You're literally overcharging all of your customers, and you're making loads of money.
It's like the Dark Souls invader, because you said no to him. His ego's hurt, so now he's got to show you how much money.
Yeah, is that part of it where like certain salesmen will see it as a challenge?
Yeah,
anyone I can whittle down and get them to accept my offer.
Yeah.
It's just the obligation of it. It's like, I see what you're fucking doing, and it's so fucking obvious, and you're not as smart as you think you are. Yeah. And it's exhausting.
Next time, have a blanket all over the floor with mouse traps underneath. So then when they walk in, they get loads of mouse traps.
Or just, don't say you want a free quote from a random...
Yeah. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
I got it like piss.
Just don't talk to people. It's my if you
Sometimes
never talk to anyone, you never have a problem. No, it's extremely fucked up. It's like paint, right? Car paint. Stupidly expensive. Go to any normal... I've worked in them. They will fleece you for every ounce you've got.
Yeah.
But then I go to my paint guy and he's like, well,
that's the like mechanic meme, isn't it?
Yep.
They're like, they'll just say, oh yeah, that part, whatever. Ooh, don't know about that one. This is going to be a big job. If we change that bit, we're actually going to have to do this bit and this bit. And you don't know, unless there's someone like you.
Yeah, I've had like discussions, arguments with people because they believe it's just like, well, this expert knows, so I'm happily going to go with them for this price because they're certified, and it's like you're paying them $5,000 to fix your moto, and that And there was a discussion on Facebook, obviously, and this guy was like, no, my accident repair centre says it will be done for $5,000 for my moto, and it's perfectly certified, and then I've replaced that very moto. I did the job they were phoned, and I was like, mate, it's like 200 quid. It's cool. It was like £4,000.
Yeah, that's interesting. From the inside, what were the kind of the economics in terms of like marking up?
Oh, it's insane.
Like with the actual resource, labour, and part cost compared to what they're charging.
Oh, it's insane. So, for example, because the company I work for, that we did a lot of insurance shops. So obviously, when you're crashing your car out, it's going to these dedicated places to get it done because it's all insurance approved. For every hour the car was just being worked on, they were charging the insurance company £27. If the car's in a car park for 2 hours, they're charging the insurance company for those 2 hours where the car's not even being worked on. So people wonder why insurance quotes are so high now. Because these people who claim insurance are getting mugged by these companies. Because it's a case of, you've got a dent. Whole new panel, and they could just pull it out and paint it, and then it's new brackets, it's new everything. So if you think a bumper on a car, right, bumper, then you got all the lights, then all the brackets for lights, all the bolts, everything that goes into that bump, replace all of it. And then people wonder why we've got like huge climate change issues and pollution, when it's like, this slight bracket slightly bent, bin it. I see it in my own job. It's like, it's why I can be quite doomer, because obviously people want to be eco-friendly, But when we're filling multiple dustbins a day full of recyclable stuff that's being put in the bin.
Just one company.
One company in Wiltshire. What do you think it is on a global scale?
Mm-hmm.
I could make a business selling bubble wrap because that's how much of it goes in the bin.
Yeah.
Because in my work, I've got a big workbench, wooden, fat, big bench. Every drawer is filled to the fucking brim of bubble wrap because it's going in the bin. Perfectly usable. Go in the bin. They don't give a fuck. Nobody cares.
Bottom line, man.
And just do background research and everything, and you can save yourself money.
But that's the thing, the inherently kind of predatory nature of it, where it's
Everything.
like
Every service, any place you go to have work done will try and fleece you.
Yeah, because they know chances are you're not going to be an expert in whatever the thing is. Yeah. So they have all the power.
They do. And it's like when I go, something a lot of people do is you get tyres changed, right? You go to a place to get tyres changed. You have as well. Yeah. Because I've checked your tyres because they were saying, oh, I need to get your tyres replaced. I was like, no, you don't. You're fine. And I've gone to a place local, and it's like a quick fit, right? So instantly loads of people are like, don't go there. It's quick fit. It's expensive.
Yeah.
But I go in there, and they're like the most, because they actually like cars. So I walk in there, and they're just like, oh yeah, we'll jack it up. And they were like, they asked me about some adjustment they were going to make, and they're like, oh, it looks like this, but that looks like that's intentional. So we're going to check it with you. And then I got a really good deal on it, and it was like 30 quid for an alignment and a tyre change. Really good, but it's just because I knew. I knew what I had.
Yeah, you knew what you wanted, and they can fuck you over.
Yeah. Instantly. And it's not like it's difficult to find out about this stuff. Google, honestly, it's like when Jim or any of you ask you about cars, the first thing I do is just Google search. Oh, James, my car's making this funny gear in second gear. Oh yeah, it's probably your clutch. And what happened? Jim got his clutch replaced because it was his clutch. Google search is your best friend.
Yeah, well, that's basically what saved me with this gutter bullshit. Yeah. It's like there are websites now that you just put in your details, and then they'll just send off to a bunch of different like companies and then give you different quotes. Yeah, because that's all you can really do.
You generally don't have to do anything anymore online. There's so many places to get all the information you need easy, and you can get answers to every question you have off Google.
It's just a time thing. It's like, man, there's not enough time. And every time I've sat there like comparing quotes online, I'm just like,
no, doing quotes is the most infuriating thing ever. So every year we all have to do like home insurance, pet insurance, human insurance. It's like, I can't be fucking bothered. Yeah. Because going through it and then loading, and then it's like, oh, if you slightly change this, you might be able to get a better deal. It's like,
yeah, that really gets under my skin. Just how much wasted time.
So much wasted time. I hate it. And it's like why for car stuff with me, it's like I can't use those anymore because I just can't get insurance from normal people. It's just like I know 2 companies and I call them. I'm like, I need insurance, and I just sort it. Don't even care. Can't get quotes. Just pay. Easy. More expensive, but it saves a lot of time.
It's an exhausting world, man.
Yeah, you can't win. We're in that phase of capitalism where every second they're trying to take your money and they're trying to fleece you, and you just got to not do anything.
We've got to be more like orangutans and actually help each other. You know?
Yeah, straight up. Be a good person.
Yeah. This is the part of the show we answer questions from the JARMEDIA subreddit, which is growing nicely for non-FNAF related reasons. Sven, as our first comment, can you give an update on all the jar animals?
Argy's currently licking feet.
Yeah.
Gaius is alive. Paisley's alive. Billy is replacing Argy. Yeah.
So yeah, Argy, he had his surgery or whatever. He had his X-ray. He had his vaccine. He's kind of just been in the vet constantly for the first few months of this year.
He's made you reach breaking point. Actual breaking point.
Pretty much.
There might be a new jar animal joining the crew.
Yeah.
I had a scary moment the other night.
What happened?
I stepped outside at about 11:30, 12ish. So pretty late. And I could hear something going.
Well, another ghost.
And I was like, what the fuck? This shit's scary. Anyway, it turns out hedgehogs
Oh,
snort really loudly.
They're really cute though.
bro, this is actually
They're incredibly cute. I never saw it because I thought that shit could be a badger.
But this is actually crazy you brought this up. Because Sven left a comment saying, "Hello, Jar Boys. I just learned that there are hedgehogs in the UK. How have you not mentioned this before? How common are they? Do they come into people's homes like rats? How sharp are their spikes? Do you have any hedgehog stories? Someone from a hedgehogless hemisphere."
I didn't know there was anywhere that didn't have hedgehogs.
Yeah. They are common. They are common in the UK.
They're not as common as I would like.
You do see
I've
them.
seen
though?
them quite a few times.
There's a lot.
You mostly see them splattered on the road.
Unfortunately, yeah. But if you're walking around like at night.
Yeah, no, they are nocturnal. So the opposite of nocturnal. They sleep during the day and they are
nocturnal.
Yeah, and so if you go out in your car at night, you've got to watch the roads because they are just wandering about. They're cute as fuck and they are slow.
Yeah, the way they walk is hilarious. They're like they are dibbies. They
are dibbies, but they're
dibbies.
unbelievably cute, and I like them.
Yeah.
It's like even on your estate, I'll see them. And on my estate, I see them. You just got to be, if you're going out at night, be careful. Just look. Not hard. They're cute. But I love hedgehogs and I want to protect them. Because they're innocent and nice.
Yeah, I'd often see them walking back from Alex's.
Yeah, there's loads in this area. Because obviously we're near the
I remember someone bringing in some baby ones to primary school.
Really?
And everyone had a little look at them. Yeah.
That's cool. They,
What was the noise it made? Like piggy.
Yeah, it's like noise.
Exhaling really loud.
Mm.
If I did that right now properly, just fucking shit would go everywhere.
Yeah, we see them. They're nice. We like hedgehogs.
Yeah. And no, they don't go into people's houses.
No.
That's really not a problem.
They tend to avoid light. Like if you see something scuttling, you shine a light, they're going to go in the opposite direction to that light.
OscarMan97 has one for us. Hello, boys. I write this question with tears in my eyes, tears of disbelief. Alex, how could you give the 2007 masterpiece Mr. Bean's Holiday a 1-star review on Letterboxd? Surely the captivating and emotional performance from Willem Dafoe alone was more than enough to warrant a 6 out of 5. I'm disappointed and need answers.
Willem Dafoe's in that movie?
Yeah, that's what caught my eye most too, because I don't remember much about it, except isn't the guy from Ghostbusters 2 in it or something?
The guy from Ghostbusters 2?
For some reason I've seen the Mr. Bean movies like a bunch of times. And
There's multiple?
No.
There's 2, I think.
Right.
And I don't have fond memories of them.
Yeah, Mr. Bean's Holiday isn't a good movie.
I have fond memories of the TV show. Those VHS tape, him going to the swimming
Apart
pool.
from when he gets a chicken on his head, that shit's so scary.
That is pretty scary. The swimming pool episode, that's a funny one. Just, the Robin Reliant falling over and stuff, and the green mini.
Yeah.
The cartoon.
Do your best Mr. Bean impression.
James, what's your Mr. Bean impression?
I can't do one. I generally don't know how to do a Mr. Bean impression.
Honestly, I probably haven't seen it since around that time, though.
Yeah.
So hearing Willem Dafoe is in it is tempting to revisit, but to be honest, I've got too many Jared Leto movies, like Chapter 27, to check out, Stick 'em Up says, I really want to see James with a pair of glasses on for old time's sake. Honestly, don't believe we've seen post-beard James with glasses on at all.
Yeah, so the whole glasses thing was that I don't actually need glasses. My eyesight is perfectly fine.
What?
The only problem, in my eyes is one of them is ruined because of the cat incident when I was a kid. So my depth of perception is pretty much close to non-existent. So it's like I've got to have max magnification on just the left eye, and I gave up. I thought they looked. I just gave up. I didn't care enough, so I just got rid of the glasses. My eyes still as terrible.
Is it getting worse as you get older? Is it changing?
Probably.
When was the last time you got an eye test, Jim?
Bro,
you gotta stop, man. Jesus.
He's getting sloppier.
Yeah.
Argue, please.
It's quite fucking like obsessive in a way.
No, it
Yeah.
is. It's really obsessive.
Like, do you think he'd do that if you just put your hand there?
No.
Or is it specifically like a salty feet thing?
I think he's messed up.
Can we put him out of the room?
Yeah, no, please, Alex. I can't stop this.
Jara 500 says, "Hello, Jar boys. Is the mullet thing still on? We need to see the mullets."
No.
I said both types of mullet there. Bear. I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna do that. I've seen too many mullets in the wild since this came up on the cast.
Yep.
And thought every single time that wouldn't work on me. And I think that's kind of where I stand.
Yep,
where I
I'm not going mullet.
Okay, well,
But if we go to America, I will don the mullet. I'm not doing it.
why?
I saw a picture of what they look like. I'm not doing it.
Ooh. Oh, Stick 'em Up actually left one that might be useful. Okay, Bear, with me here. As far as I know, the casts are usually recorded between Fridays and Sundays, and the suggestion thread is left up until the next cast is published. Does this mean that people posting questions in the last couple of days have zero chance of getting their questions read out? Maybe I should send this to the Jimbus, or I could be thinking too far into it. So, the truth is, there's not actually like a dedicated day that's consistent. Sometimes we'll even record on Sunday, so it's more of a case of you'll have a better chance if it's earlier in the week, probably, just so it's in there. But also, you can, if you do just leave it on a Sunday, you can put it again in the next thread if it's a weekly thread. You know, Some people do that.
Just answer the same thing every week until it gets answered. Then it will get answered.
Some people do employ that strategy, and sometimes it does work if the question's good enough.
So I'd say 4 weeks.
Well,
Ask the same question. If it
to
doesn't
tell the
get-
Jarlings the truth, on the Jar doc, I literally have, I think, about 150 pages of unused questions.
Wow.
Yeah, we're saving them for this extra jumbo special long question episode.
Jumbo special.
It would probably take like 10 hours to go through all of them.
I hate the word jumbo.
You do.
You have like Jumbo Jet.
No, like jumbo sausage
jet,
roll.
Don't like it. Jumbo sausage roll. Extra don't like
Well,
it.
yeah.
Battered jumbo sausage from a chippy. Extra don't like that.
I don't mind that. But I hate
Jumbo sausage just makes me feel inadequate. Because I'm rocking a Jimbo sausage.
Jimbo sausage. Yeah, Jumbo. The way you feel about Jumbo is the way I feel about
No,
fizzy
Jumbo's
drink.
not bad because Jumbo's a decent shop.
Jumbo.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's just something about it. Jumbo.
Did you get called Jimbo as a kid?
I get called Jimbo now.
I got called Jimbo as a kid, and I still get called Jimbo now.
But Jimbo and Jumbo, like,
No, it's just
totally
it's
separate.
Jumbo's quite close to Gumbo. And Gumbo's kind of gross to me.
Gumbo, like slop.
Yeah, like fish slop.
Fish slop. There's meant to be some fine ass gumbo out
Yeah, you
there.
can have some. I mean, yeah.
I've never had gumbo. I'm not going to judge gumbo.
The concept of Gumbo doesn't sit well in my mind. But maybe I'm just being unfair to Gumbo.
You are.
I
Okay.
think you're being unfair to gumbo.
Shall I Google it?
Yes.
Shall I at least give it a Google image?
Yeah, the finest gumbo in the south. I do declare.
Gumbo. Well, actually, yeah, some of them are pretty good.
See?
A stew popular in the U.S. state of Louisiana.
Yeah. Gumbo.
I bet you can have bad gumbo though. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
There's lots of
You
room.
can have good and bad everything.
Oh, why'd you have to do that?
Yeah, why'd you have to do that?
Why'd you have to do that?
Breen Cena had a quick one. Just wondering why James thought Vinesauce is part of Vsauce when they're two completely separate entities. And this should have been a housekeeping, but I'd noticed this when you're saying, because I know who Vinesauce is, but I was confused because I was like, I was questioning myself because of the Vsauce link. I was like, wait, what?
They're not connected.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
they're not.
joke. That's the joke
Yeah.
is that they're not.
But Breen's seen as confused, you know?
Well, I'm confused.
And I'm confused, to be
So I
honest.
thought Vinny was the hot one.
Where I was thinking Vinesauce, like, Vinesauce.
Where's Vinesauce?
It was a joke. I was purposely. There's no connection between the two. I was just being.
Being classic Vinny.
Yeah. El Vinny, as they say.
Right. 2 more. JH says, update on teaching my class of jarlings. Remember this one? They were saying about how they were sneaking stuff into their room. I've got them saying bah if they get something right in lessons. I did an activity in which I taught the word dibby to children and got them to draw their favourite dibby.
Okay, this is fake.
Lots of minions and 2 porgs.
Fake.
I also showed them Shark Tale last Friday because it was a recommendation for JARCast. I'm afraid I'm at a standstill on what else to indoctrinate my Jarmy with. Any suggestions? Thanks,
Fake.
boys.
He's lying.
Is that your leading theory now, then?
Yep.
That they're just
It
lying?
always was a little bit.
Lying for attention, do you think? What's your take, James? Do you think it's
fake.
You think it's fake?
Yeah.
Well, JH, it's kind of on you then, you know? Unluck?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been pushed too far. Like drawing
It's-
your favourite dibby.
It's a
I get that. Because that's like, kids love dibbies.
Yeah, they do, but...
Yeah, and true.
Explaining
And
what
like,
dibby is.
our mum is a teacher.
Yeah.
And like when I've been to like one of the schools she's taught at and seen like minion shit like plastered all over the classroom.
Well, in secondary school, I had a teacher that fucking put minions
in secondary school.
Yeah. He
Where-
loved minions. My man loved minions. He had to count the minion thing. Like, if you could find every minion, you were the guy.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. That was Mr. E. Right, let's do the final. From Romulus. Hey boys, the one and only Finnish Jarling here with a little jar-related story regarding a friend of mine. A couple years ago, I was starting upper secondary school in a new city with a new set of friends. At this time, it was also when I first got into Jar. So as I was doing my best to socialize and find new friends, I stumble upon this one guy that seems oddly familiar. I'd never met him before, and at first I had no idea why he seemed so familiar, but then it hit me. I'm not kidding when I say he is the Finnish James. He loves cars, has the same colour and type of hair, talks in the same manner, and most importantly, does the James bar. When I realised this connection, I was convinced I had stumbled upon a wild fellow Jarmillion. Don't think I've seen that one, but Jarmillion. I was still not 100% sure, so I tried to figure out the best and least weird way to find out if he actually was one. So I casually started talking about podcasts and whether he listens to any particular ones. To my disappointment, he said he'd never listened to a single episode of any podcast in his whole life. So either this is just a weird coincidence or he's just a closeted jar sexual. I guess we'll never know. Anyway,
Fake.
sorry for the long comment. Just thought I should share this game on.
Liar.
Fucking liar! Yeah, this is the new... is this the new comment meta? You're a fucking liar. Or not?
How dare you?
Do you prefer Game On or Bear Bear?
Bear.
No, Game On. You can't replace Game On. Bear does not stand a chance.
But Game On's old jar.
Ooh.
Bear,
Out with the old
Bear
in with the new.
Bear's a little wat. No, little wat. Game On.
No, it's a bear.
Game On.
It's
Game
two
on.
bears.
It's double bear, and it's been iterated on quite well. Like Jim was eating some gummy bears earlier. He put 2 in his hand, and he just held 2 of them in front of me. I was like, look. It took me a while to get it.
You didn't get it. I had to say it. I went bear. A bear. I do declare.
Who's sitting over there?
Who is that sitting over there?
Well, I think it's a bear.
Well, I do declare that is a bear.
Is that 2? Is that 2 bears sitting over there?
I do declare, that is 2 bears sitting over there. It's like bear.
I think that's quite good. That's probably a good place to end it, to be honest.
I do declare.
Bear, who's sitting over there?
I currently think that maybe Argy should be not in this episode.
He's not.
Look at him.
Being really fucking cute.
Really fucking ugly.
Who wants to lead?
I think
I'll go first.
oh,
You want to be blue?
Yeah.
I do declare you're gonna be blue.
I am
please-
feeling
please
kinda
stop,
blue.
please.
Don't you like it?
No, I hate it.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, look, funny little gimmick.
What do you mean? I do the.
Can I just start whenever?
Well, make sure you introduce it or whatever, unless James wants to do it or I want to do it.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second half of the show where we head over to Patreon and give a nice little shout out to our lovely patrons who help support the show and make the audio version possible. So a big thank you to...
Thank you so much to I love Barbell, she is my queen. Kung Fu Kami, Owen H, Lears, Joseph Rutland, Jim Jam Enthusiast, Neo Theo, Around the Ketamine, a Perimeter Create, James Dad, Zell, The Scarily Enormous Penis of James, Simon Steele, James's dad, 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 James is... That was all one name. Samuel Randall, Joku, Toei, James's dad, James's dad, James's dad, James's dad, James's dad, James's dad, Tensor Boy, The Feather, The Crazy Frog, and the Holy Spirit. Oh, the father, sorry, shit. James's Big Daddy Donga, James's dad, you and James's Craig Docherty, James Uno Otter San Desi, Uwe, Krill Muncher, Unwashed Reptile, James's dad, The Forlorn Piscator, Killer Crocs, Killer Crussy, James's dad, Logan, Simsy, Megan, Grace aka Sandy Maker. Right, enough is enough, James. If you don't pay me and my bro 50 big ones each, we've no choice but to send you to the Goonlag.
The Goonlag.
Evan Piling, Panzerkampfwagen VI Tiger Osf E, Busting a Gut and then Busting a Nut, Shart Ass Brapple, Tongue Tied, Corey Lado, James's Australian mum, P.S. didn't mean to leave you on red for months, lol, whoops. Alexa Kill God. Look out, I think Piss a Dick likes you. Here he comes. I like them big, like them chunky.
Nice.
The Loathsome Beans Eater. Fapping and clapping, it's happening. Lapping up sap that have splat on the mat, and the substance is masculine.
Yes.
Travis King. Dildo Dabbins. Literally a patron. Huge Stormay. The Trail Wee Banana. Hello everybody, my name is Random Minion XD. I'm here today to be a little bit random for you. Grant Connor, Jack Price, Kelly Levine, thank you all dearly and delightfully. I do declare.
I do declare the jarlings have been up to very much good.
I hate this episode already. I'm going to walk out.
So is that the name of it? I do declare.
No.
You have to make sure we say it at least 55 times then in the episode. Just grind it into the ground in the first 5 minutes. Big thanks to Kooky, Cheeky Little Lloyd. Fuck. Cheeky Little Lloyd. That's old. How did I even know that? Stone Weevil. Morbius, but Jared Leto is now James, hiding out in Dream Lounge and exclusively uses his vampire powers to rob rare car parts. That is what would happen if you had the Morbius powers.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know what the Morbius powers are.
He's just a vampire. You can just sort of fly around being an asshole.
Being a bat.
You'd love that movie. Blake Gaze, Sketch, James's dad, Avi Cunt, Ben Bucum, State of Velasca, Harvey Cohen, The Saga of James's dad, an immortal being who lived on Earth and shaped its history and civilizations, Matthew Edge, CALNE Quick, James's dad, Toe Sucker, Lord Chiquita, the King of the Banana Republic, Mr. Chips, beaten, bruised, and sobbing, stands as a man gives him a silver platter, lifting the lid to reveal 2 yellow butt cheeks. Friendship with Mazda over. Nissan is my best friend now. Katia effin Manigan, and last but not least, David Wallace. Just kidding, there's also the Goopster. Dangly Langley, James's dada. Tony Oswelt. Sad Nietzsche shit. The last patron name gave me diarrhea of the pussy. Begone, I say you foolish savage, I am a god, the golden god, and my rage will fall upon you. Whoever is reading this has to blow a kiss. Cosne Macundle. Schnort. Liquid hot magma dripping down my anus. Oh yes, James, ride me hard, like a bantha. I was in line at Taco Bell when you read that name, and now everyone thinks I want to lap up masculine sap. James's papa. Let's be real, Fortnite is the McDonald's of games, and I fucking love a Big Mac, brother. Krusty Kamikaze, Onion Creature, Harriet Broadley, Crypt Keeper, James's dad, Tinkles, The Bush, Imported Guest, Tom Baranek, Gilbert the Awesome One, Nate's Minifigs, James's dads, people on Twitter whose names begin with H and are bowed at Dark Souls, Recorder Enthusiast, Cobalt Rad, James's dad, Drain My Cock Johnson, Chaser the Dragon, Michael from NZ, Ed Sheeran, Ginger Pubes. The person reading this is sexy and epic, Joseph Jewish Jarling.
So this is a big thank you to Jack, Tom Fudging Armstrong, Free Palestine, Piss Drinkers Unleashed, Aaron Gavana, Stephen is Human, Meekly, Konatada, Butter Me Up Some Porn on the Cob, James's dad, Katia fucking Manigan, James's dad. Before I hand this iPad off to you, you should know that I let Piss a Dick use it, and now it's full of piss. Or Ohio Go Bucks, Numa Banana, Ben, Fartbag, Gez, Fiddle, Dream of Fool 2142, Melvin, Brother of the Joker, Misa Wanna Wonga, King Kong Fan Free, Snort Boogie, Bakamitai, oh fuck, I can't actually sing the song. Bakamitai, Kodomo Nan no Ni, Yuma o Oto, Kizu to Suti, Yusoga Hata Nakuse ni wa Nai, Igai Miseta, I can't sing it. James's dad, Lilf, Danny G Base Lord, Woodpecker from Mars, Edgy Airwrecker, Ski Badidi Skiga Boduga, James's dad, Lewis Big Boy Borshro Horsborough, Evil Goblin, Femboy in a BB shirt listening to I'm Only SpongeBob, James's dad, Sam, Adam Johnston, Tom Buies, James Loves Family Guy, Meet Me in the Jelly Pod, Super Crunchers, Joel Stewart, Edgy Hacker, James is Dead. It's like a threat.
Yeah.
James's dad, Big Roops, Gremlo, Josh BG, Cooter Panda, Lucy Ties and Asian Anal Queen, Randy Ruins Patron, Hold Up, Pause the Cast, Pause the Name, Reading, You Better Stop Looking at Me with Them DSLs or I'm gonna act it up, alright con. Catch Your Fucking Manigan and David Wallace.
Thanks everyone.